Everybody, welcome back to Leosophy. It's the May edition of Mental Diets. So what am I recommending? Well, I have been reading Imperium by Francis P. Yockey. And his story alone, cyanide capsule in jail and all that, is enough to warrant reading it. It is a very, very, very right-wing kind of book. Just a warning for anybody who it tends to shy away from that kind of material, but it is. But Imperium has really got me thinking about a lot in terms of politics, in terms of my place in the world, just a lot. It's a very interesting and difficult read, I have to say. Plato's Republic is a really great book and an easy read. This is a great book, but it's tougher to read than Evola. It is. Sorry. So I recommend it, but it should come with a little caveat there that especially the first two chapters, the chapters are very short, but they are very convoluted in their wording. It takes some time. Now, in terms of media, I've really been enjoying the Longmire Detective series lately as a show. It's a really good program. I mean, obviously, it does have some components that may be debated as more commonplace for what we would expect from such an industry. But by and large, it's been very, very enjoyable, and I think it does have a lot of underlying themes that are good. Now, in terms of nonfiction, I think I have mentioned A Random Walk Down Wall Street for people interested in investing. Well, there is a book by Wickman called Traction, and I think it has the other side of the fence. People are curious about capital raising, and two ways around that are investing. That's if you already have some capital. But there's also starting a business and running it effectively. And I think Traction does a really good job of explaining the actual process and habits that must be cultivated in order for that to actually work. It's easy to make a business. Anybody can make a business, especially in America. You give somebody $150 in an hour, they can make a business. That's not the hard part. Making one that works and actually generates revenue is what's challenging. So do I have any films to recommend? I recently got in a conversation. This is an older one. Sorry about that. I usually like to have to be more of a recent thing, but let's face facts, there's not been a lot out lately. But I don't think I've recommended Fight Club. Holy moly. I mean, that's, at least in terms of my audience, it's kind of up everybody's alley. I recently found out from a conversation with somebody who thought it was not a cerebral story, just from, the trailer and hearing about it. No, it's not just a bunch of dudes punching each other. Very different kind of film. It's not a Jean-Claude Van Damme film. Let's see, music. That's the last one. And that's a lot harder because I feel like I've kind of burnt out on classical lately. So, what's some good music that doesn't direct your thoughts to one negative direction or another? And I got to thinking about it. This one is also older, but I was talking with a friend and I found out to my absolute shock. I love this album, but I never would have pegged this person for liking this. But their favorite album was Daft Punk's Discovery. And I really think there is some merit in electronic music, techno type music. It's not all simplistic drivel. And I think Daft Punk's a good example of that. I think that it's the kind of music, I wouldn't put it on the same pedestal, obviously, as classical. And I don't mean that in a snooty kind of way. But I do think that it's the kind of music you could listen to and your mind could generate abstractions in a direction that's largely positive. So I think that there's definitely a place for it. I'm not purity spiraling music and saying you just have to listen to fugues. This is some good stuff. In fact, there's actually one particular song that I can't think of by Daft Punk that immediately uses counterpoint in a way that's very similar to a fugue. It's just more simplified and electronic. That covers it though. Like, share, subscribe, keep asking questions. Bye.